First of all, it's not a rivalry. Not when you lose about 35 points.
That's true.
First of all, it's not a rivalry. Not when you lose by 35 points. That single line from Stephen A. Smith sent shockwaves through the WNBA world. One of the loudest voices in sports just told Angel Reese to stay in her lane, and the internet exploded. But was Stephen A. just speaking facts? Or did he cross a line by publicly humiliating one of the league's most polarizing stars? Tonight, we unravel the fiery moment that reignited the Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark rivalry and why Stephen A. Smith just poured gasoline on the fire.
And the fever's on a different level than the Chicago Sky. Let's get that out the way. Secondly, as much as we love Angel Reese because she is special, she's not Caitlin Clark as a player. Caitlin Clark is on a different level.
Stephen A. Smith didn't just comment, he erupted. With trademark thunder in his voice, he declared, "As much as we love Angel Reese, she's not Caitlin Clark. Not even close." The reason? A 35-point blowout loss that had even the most loyal Sky fans falling silent. What followed was a passionate rant that blurred the line between tough love and televised takedown. And just like that, Stephen A. wasn't just a commentator. He became the referee, the judge, and the executioner.
It was a basketball play. Yes. Angel Reese is right about that. But what they called against her in terms of upgrading it to a flagrant one is exactly what they would have done in the NBA as well. I also think to some degree they're looking for something from Angel Reese because if you recall when Kennedy Carter bumped or, shoved Caitlin Clark to one of the footages they show was Angel Reese getting up and clapping and stuff like that. They keep their eyes on stuff like this. Here's where I'm going where the rivalry kicks in. Angel Reese, the reason why obviously the whole Caitlin Clark Angel Reese thing happened was because when they met in the NCAA tournament in 2023, when Angel Reese was doing all of this, because Caitlin Clark...
This is a new beef. The tension between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark has been simmering since that legendary 2023 NCAA championship showdown. Reese clapped back when she felt Clark disrespected opponents. Clark kept quiet, but her game did the talking. Since then, they've been locked in a high-stakes cold war of talent, attitude, and media coverage. Reese has the charisma. Clark has the stats. And in today's viral-first sports culture, that's a volatile mix.
Caitlin Clark is getting that notoriety. Let me go out there and use that to take advantage of it myself and show you what the hell I bring to the table. You can roll your eyes all you want to. I'm giving you facts. I'm giving you facts. Giving you facts, Eminem. That's what I said. You sat up there and Angel Reese put the female basketball world on notice. Excuse me, I'ma go at her, I'ma take it to that team, I'ma beat them, and I'ma show you I'm just as worthy.
But here's the million-dollar question. Did Stephen A. go too far? His tone was loud. His critique was personal. His delivery, borderline theatrical. And while his take may have some truth, fans questioned whether it felt more like entertainment than analysis. Especially when Reese had already faced backlash, threats, and media scrutiny since day one. Even WNBA legends like Cheryl Swoops called for a more respectful tone when speaking about the new generation.
Angel Reese can rebound the basketball. She's a damn good player. She's got a bright future in the WNBA, but Caitlin Clark is next level. That's number 2.
Angel didn't respond directly to Stephen A., but her silence spoke volumes. A cryptic tweet, a subtle eye roll in post-game. And then she dropped 20 points and 12 rebounds the very next night. Fans rallied behind her, accusing ESPN and Stephen A. of trying to manufacture rivalries for ratings. But others agreed, Reese needs to focus on winning, not drama. One thing's for sure, she's not fading quietly into the background.
Reese experienced vitriol thereafter. It was tough for her to deal with, as she articulated, and that's unfortunate because we got some no-good-ass people in this world. And their definition of happiness is bringing you down to the level of misery they experience.
Honestly,
Stephen A. wasn't wrong when he called Caitlin Clark next level. The numbers don't lie. Clark leads the WNBA in scoring efficiency, assists, and jersey sales. Her influence isn't just on the court, it's on culture. When she steps into an arena, ticket prices double. And for better or worse, that spotlight follows her and everyone who plays beside or against her.
That's why we have this big spike in women's basketball was because of them. That's the rivalry. It's not much. Okay, their games are not rivalry. Their personalities are the rivalry.
Yeah, and I guess it's something. Yeah.
So you're right. So yeah, but that's what it is. It's not that I can have it. That's what it is.
So here's the deeper issue. Why is Angel Reese called out of line for doing the same things male athletes have done for years? From Draymond Green to Russell Westbrook, trash talk is part of the game. But when Reese taunts back or shows emotion, it's disrespectful. Stephen A. isn't the only voice, but he's one of the loudest. And with that platform comes responsibility. In a league still fighting for mainstream respect, tone matters. Words matter.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Kind of sounds a little bit like the conversation you just had about wanting the spotlight. This is what I said about it, and I love it. I want to see them going at it. I want to see them playing physical. I want to keep this racist crap off the court where it belongs. If some jamoke wants to talk like that, then go home. I don't want to hear it.
Like it or not, this rivalry is good for the game. Angel versus Caitlin is box office. ESPN knows it. The WNBA knows it. And Stephen A. definitely knows it. This tension is bringing in millions of new fans, driving record-breaking viewership, and putting women's basketball where it belongs, center stage.
So that's unfortunate, but in the end, the WNBA is moving upwards. Both of those young ladies are going to be incredible contributors to the product and the brand.
So, where does this leave us? Angel Reese, a fearless competitor still finding her rhythm in the pros. Caitlin Clark, a once-in-a-generation shooter writing her own legacy. And Stephen A. Smith, a man who might have just escalated the greatest rivalry in WNBA history with one sentence. But here's the twist. Maybe that's exactly what the league needs. More passion, more stories, more fireworks. Because in a game still fighting for the spotlight, every voice counts. Even the loudest one in the room.
Caitlin Clark's or Angel Reese's popularity in large part is attributed to her behavior towards Caitlin Clark. Because when Caitlin Clark was busy taunting opponents a couple of years back before LSU smacked Iowa around in the national championship game or so, it was Angel Reese that was clapping back at Caitlin Clark.
The rivalry is far from over. And this story? It's just getting started. Don't miss our next deep dive, where we uncover the real reason behind the latest WNBA feud. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because when the drama hits the hardwood, we've got you covered.
RG3 had to step in. Good for RG3. He actually said something right here. He said Angel Reese legitimately hates Caitlin Clark. There's no question. Jealousy, envy. Jealousy and envy. Pettiness. Oh, ego. It's jealousy and envy because of ego. Now, I've said this before and I'll say this again. She wanted to be the villain, and then she cried about being the villain. Angel Reese. She wanted to be the sex symbol wearing all these.
Ladies and gentlemen, I love Caitlin Clark. She's been a guest on this show. I think she's spectacular. I'm the one that's been calling her the Steph Curry of women's basketball. Done nothing to push that back. I mean, this young lady is spectacular. She's been great for women's basketball overall, not just college basketball, but women's basketball. I think she has the potential, when all is said and done, to be arguably the greatest ever, because when you have that kind of range and that kind of handle and you can pull up from the parking lot like Steph Curry, for crying out loud, I think that's something that you can transition to the next level, and it's going to be spectacular to see, and I can't wait to see it. But here's the reality of the situation. She instigated this kind of stuff. Let's call it what it is.
Just when you thought the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese rivalry couldn't get any more heated, ESPN's biggest voice exploded on national television. Stephen A. Smith didn't just weigh in. He detonated, calling out Angel Reese with a firestorm of criticism and advice. Stay in your lane. But who is really out of line here? And why did Stephen A. go this far?
Ladies and gentlemen, I love Caitlin Clark. She's been a guest on this show. I think she's spectacular. I'm the one that's been calling her the Steph Curry of women's basketball, and she has done nothing to push that back. I mean, this young lady is spectacular. She's been great for women's basketball overall, not just college basketball, but women's basketball. I think she has the potential, when all is said and done, to be arguably the greatest ever, because when you have that kind of range and that kind of handle, and you can pull up from the parking lot like Steph Curry, for crying out loud, I think that's something that you can transition to the next level, and it's going to be spectacular to see, and I can't wait to see it. But here's the reality of the situation. She instigated this kind of stuff. Let's call it what it is. She was waving. She was doing the Cena. How about what she did to Raven Johnson? She didn't just go into the lane and not guard her against South Carolina in the national semifinal. She waved her off. She didn't mind being disrespectful.
It started as college dominance. Caitlin Clark, the long-range assassin from Iowa. Angel Reese, the unstoppable LSU enforcer. Their clash in the NCAA championship game wasn't just a contest. It was a collision of styles, confidence, and controversy. And when Reese taunted Clark with a "you can't see me" gesture, the internet exploded.
Love the WNBA and support the WNBA, as we all do. And racial animus exists in this world. And to a lot of white people out there, I've said this on many, many occasions. If you're not one of them no good bastards that would do something like that, feel something like that, say something like that, nobody's talking about you. Don't personalize it and embrace it as if black folks and other folks are lumping you with them. No, you know how to isolate. You know how to look at the Susie Schuster and say she's a wonderful woman. She's straight up. She don't play. She don't tolerate no nonsense. But she's a damn good woman.
And then came the voice that never whispers. Stephen A. Smith, known for his volcanic takes, made the rivalry personal. Not between Clark and Reese, but between himself and Angel Reese's attitude. While Stephen A. pounded the desk, Angel stayed mostly silent. But her social media activity told another story. Subtle likes, vague tweets, eyebrow-raising reposts. The silence? Deafening and powerful. One thing's certain, the drama isn't over. Not while the WNBA is booming in ratings, and not while this rivalry fuels storylines coast to coast. Whether you love the trash talk or hate the hot takes, you're watching history unfold. But here's the real question. What is Angel Reese's lane? The defensive powerhouse who broke college records? The face of a new generation? Or just someone who doesn't fit the mold the media is used to? The internet split in half. Hashtag Team Clark versus hashtag Team Reese. But this wasn't just about sports, it was about identity, race, and representation. Who's allowed to be confident? Who gets called cocky? Let's be real. Stephen A. knows how to perform. His rants are legendary. But when does performance overshadow the truth? When does volume become distortion? This rivalry isn't new. Clark has taunted players for years. When Reese clapped back, she was instantly branded the villain. A reminder, Clark's behavior was rarely criticized. Reese, instantly judged. Critics say Stephen A.'s tone revealed a bigger issue, gendered commentary. While Caitlin Clark's fiery competitiveness is praised, Angel's is framed as drama. Why? In a sport finally getting the attention it deserves, maybe the biggest voices should amplify all players, not tear them down. Whether you're Team Angel, Team Caitlin, or just Team Basketball, remember, greatness doesn't come with silence. And neither does change.